Welcome to the Do Good X podcast, a sanctuary from the entrepreneurial grind. Hosts Kimberly Danielle and Stephen Lewis, advocates for impactful entrepreneurship, guide you on the path where purpose meets business. Join us to slow down, reconnect, and explore the challenges of under-resourced entrepreneurs, uncovering the unique journey of building businesses that make a difference. Now, your host.
Welcome to the Do Good X podcast. My name is Stephen Lewis. I'm a catalyst for positive change. And for communities and businesses in over 2 decades, I have been inspiring leaders and entrepreneurs to live and work on purpose. And I am delighted to be joined today with my colleague, Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly.
Hey, Stephen, what is happening? Hey, everyone. My name is Kimberly Danielle, and I am a community builder, a coach, and communication strategist who comes from generations of faith leaders and entrepreneurs who believe that our purpose should contribute to the common good. And today we are going to have a short conversation. We appreciate you tuning in. We hope you find some value from what we'll focus on today. Recently, I have been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs who have questioned or are questioning the viability of their business due to lack of revenue and traction primarily. Not to say that's the only reason, but that's the primary reason. They're just not making money and they're not gaining customers. And they're really wondering if they should keep going with their business to try to see if it's going to work, or if they should get a job on the side while they continue their business so that they can support themselves financially, or if they should just call it quits with their business and go back and get that good old W-2. Even though the business was, being an entrepreneur was a passion and dream, they're considering hanging that hat up and just going back to the other side. And there's nothing wrong with that. But really, they're at this crossroads of figuring out what's next. And so today we're going to just chat a little bit about what to consider if you are one of those entrepreneurs. You are not the only one. There are a lot of you out there. And, I think this is just an important conversation. So what do you think, Stephen?
Yeah, I think, as we get into this session, one of the things that I tell some entrepreneurs, don't give up. Don't do it. Don't give up. So I think sometimes you have to be willing to pivot. Sometimes we're married to our dreams and solutions that we care about, but it's not something that everybody else cares about. And then there are times where we have to recognize that sometimes you have a good solution, but it's at the wrong time. Like the industry hasn't caught up to what it is that you're actually trying to offer. And so sometimes it really is about timing or luck. If you listen to our previous podcast with Shruti, talking about this whole idea that, sometimes it's about luck and timing. So I'm looking forward to jumping in this with you.
Yeah. So, what do you think is something that entrepreneurs should consider if they're at this crossroads with their business and there's just something that is just not working with their business and getting it to the next level?
Yeah, I think part of it is about understanding the challenge that your business is facing. So maybe it's, oftentimes it's a lack of revenue, right? And so part of the question is, are your prices too low? Or maybe they're too high. Are your overhead expenses too high for the stage of your business? Is there an actual need in the marketplace for your business, product or service? Maybe it is your marketing is ineffective. So are you reaching your ideal paying customers with your marketing, your digital marketing efforts? Or are the economic conditions or trends in your industry affecting your business success? But I think once you kind of do a little bit of excavation and research and discover the challenge below the surface, then you can reflect on if the challenge is one that can actually be addressed or solved. And if so, you develop a plan of action, or you bring maybe some trusted advisors to help you think about what may be possible solutions that you can explore and put a plan together to actually explore those particular solutions that you come up with. What would you say?
Well, I think it also goes back to what you previously mentioned around not being too wed to a specific idea and being open to pivoting. But you need to understand what you need to pivot to
Yeah.
in order to potentially experience some success. And a lot of that is around listening to your customer and what is needed in the market or what is needed in a specific community and what people are willing to actually pay for. And so the more nimble and agile you are, I think you will find more success in finding a solution. But you need to understand what that challenge is. So doing that research and, like you said, Stephen, really kind of doing that excavation to figure out what is really happening versus just saying, oh, I'm just not making any money. My business isn't making any money. There's a reason why your business isn't making any money. It's just not, it's not something that's just happening by chance. There's a mechanism in your business. Something is broken or needs to be fixed. And so figuring out what that is, just like a mechanic, figuring out what that thing is, whether it might be something small or it might be something major, but figuring out what that thing is can help you to see if this is something that you want to address and you can actually solve. I think the other thing to consider is that you can explore alternative ways to support yourself while continuing to figure out what that challenge is and if you can solve it. And even if you start to experience some success from the pivot that you might do to address that challenge, it might take a little bit of time to actually see that success turn into money. So take that into consideration. So what are you going to do in the meantime? Look at alternative ways to support yourself while building your business. So I know many entrepreneurs who have pursued part-time jobs, even full-time jobs, while working on their businesses so that they can support themselves, or if they have a family, they can support their family financially. And some are privileged and in a position where they can rely on a spouse who is willing to support the household for a particular period of time. And then there are others who do some freelancing that might be, this is not the focus of their business, but it's them leveraging some gift or skill that they have to do some freelancing, consulting work, or just small side hustles just to get them by. But in any scenario that you explore, oh, and let me say before I say this, do not see yourself as a failure if that is something that you have to do. Do not, because so many people have been there. Work on your business, get the money that you need to live, because that is important. And especially if you are responsible for another person or people within your household, do what you have to do. And if you are also working a job while building your business, keep in mind that you will have to be even more intentional about how you manage your time, because you will be split in different ways. You have this added responsibility of another job. So just be intentional about planning out your priorities and how you will spend your time so that you can take care of yourself and you can also manage and actually build the business. So, the data still should, it shows that 9 in 10 businesses fail. But we hope, and I hope, that this podcast and other resources will give you access to tips, tools to help your business thrive. And it's also important to have a contingency plan in case your business doesn't succeed in the way you desire. It may generate money, but maybe it's not enough money for you to actually have a salary for yourself. It may take more time. What is your contingency plan? What are you going to do while you continue to explore being an entrepreneur and building a business that really can support you and allow you to employ others and have others on your team? I've heard a lot of people say, oh, there is no plan B. There's only plan A. And I do see a lot of those entrepreneurs with that mindset of really being successful. And so I want to also acknowledge that that might, be where you're at. And if that is where you're at, just make sure that you also have a financial backing and pool of resources to support you as you continue to move forward. Anything else you would add, Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would just say that, you need to make a decision to move forward with the support that you need. So set realistic expectations and goals. Reach out to mentors, peer entrepreneurs, advisors, friends, or family for support. And the most important thing, take care of yourself. Because whether you choose to move forward in your business or bring it to a close, we hope that your entrepreneurial journey brings you growth, valuable insights for the next chapter in your life and what you might do and what is to come. So that's what I would offer, Kimberly. I think, again, you shouldn't feel ashamed if you have to take a job or you're trying to figure out what the next steps are with regards to whether you should close, or maybe it's closing temporarily until you can figure out, how you accumulate additional resources and figure out your next steps. But there's nothing wrong with pausing so you can get a little bit of more head space and heart space to be able to figure out what is next, or what you might be able to do to unpause and continue or pivot your business going forward.
And lastly, I'll say if you haven't listened to the previous episode with Shruti Shah, I invite you to go back and listen to that, because while Shruti today is a partner at a VC firm, she was and still is, I see, an entrepreneur. But she grew this business that ultimately her and her team had to exit out of. And she took what she learned from that journey and is applying it to what she's currently doing in being a partner at this investment firm. So all of that to say, if you find that you have to close your business down, you can still take what you've learned and use it for whatever you choose to do next. Whether you choose to start another business, whether you choose to pause and come back to this business, whether you choose to go and find a job in a field that you have gifts for full time, you can always use and leverage what you've learned and gleaned for other opportunities. So if you are in the space of really facing tough choices and you don't want to do it alone, of course, we are all about community, and we want you to join the Do Good X community. You can go to dogoodx.org and join our LinkedIn group. And here you can find resources and tips and tools for the journey. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave us a rating and review it, or share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Because maybe another entrepreneur who is at this crossroads and needs some things to consider or to think about, reflect on, to help them to discern what's next. So please do share it. And we appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, we hope you join us again, and we hope that you take care of yourself. Be well and do good.
Thank you for listening to the Do Good X podcast. To continue the conversation or access our resources, visit www.dogoodx.org. Join us again for conversations that will nourish your soul, ignite your dreams, and empower you to build an impactful business, one intentional step at a time. Until then, keep striving, thriving, and doing good.